Okay, hi everyone. This is my second video of the day. Back to back, just pumping them out. I was gonna do a throwback Thursday, but I was kind of torn on what stories I wanted to tell. So that's why I'm making both videos. Hopefully my camera battery doesn't die. And that is why whenever you see this, I will be in the same clothing, plaid shirt and zombie leggings and cowgirl boots. Boop, boop, boop. So yeah, this Throwback Thursday is of the 3 times in my life that I fainted. And maybe I'll add in that almost time I fainted. So the first time I fainted, and this will either be a Throwback Thursday or I'll put it up another day, so it might not be a Throwback Thursday. So if not, then this is just a throwback. So the first time I fainted, I was in the 2nd grade. I was getting ready for picture day. I had very long hair, went down to my butt pretty much. Maybe not exactly my butt at that point in my life because it was down to my butt in 6th grade. But it was really, really long, and one of the only ways I could wear it was if it was braided because it would get so tangled. It was really thin and long, and not this color. But my mom was doing it in double braids, so I would look beautiful for picture day. And we only have a clawfoot tub in my bathroom because we live in a really old house, like you guys know. And it was really hot because my stepdad had just gotten his morning bath after we were before we were in the bathroom. So my mom was doing my hair in there though, and it was really hot and steamy, and I started feeling sick because I'd just woken up and not eaten, and it was really hot. And I told my mom this, and I said, I want water, and she said, well, you can't drink the water from our sink because we can't. It is well water. It'll make you sick if you drink too much of it, probably. So I just wanted a swoosh water in my mouth though, but I didn't tell her this. I just needed something. And I was just feeling dizzy, and next thing you know, I woke up to my mom calling for my stepdad, and it turns out I passed out. I think she did catch me. I don't remember feeling pain, so I guess she did catch me. So that was the first time I passed out, and then I got to, basically she sent me into school just for pictures, and then she told me to go to the nurse afterwards, and I went to the nurse, and they were very shocked that I was in school after I had fainted at home that day. But I said I had to get my pictures. So I went home that day. The second time I fainted was in the 4th grade. So 2 years later, we did something called Colonial Day, where you would dress up in colonial clothing and do all this colonial stuff, and at the end you got a feast. So we were playing with hoops and sticks because that was a game colonial people played. And we were playing with hoops and sticks, and it was just, we weren't really using sticks, we were just using the hoops, and they were just wooden hoops. So I was doing, you know how you can throw a hula hoop up and you kind of catch it in your hands and let it like spin, like you just keep it with a loose hand. And I was doing that, and my one friend, she asked me, oh, how do you do that? And I was like, oh, because we were kind of, I guess we were like with other classes, because no, she was in my 4th grade class, yeah. So she was like, oh, how do you do that? And I was like, oh, you just throw it up and catch it. And I was like, but just be careful so you don't get, and the moment I said splinter, I felt a chunk of wood lodge itself into my thumb. This thumb, there's no scar or anything. And I dropped the hoop, and I look, and there was like, wait, I'm all hooked up. It was like the length of my thumb, which my thumb was smaller back then, but it was the length of my thumb, a chunk of wood that was just through one layer of skin. Now, that's not what made me pass out. I told my teacher, I went to the nurse. I was in the nurse's office, and she was poking. She couldn't get it. She had to like poke a needle and like basically tear my skin a bit. Now, remember, it's Colonial Day, so I'm dressed up like a little colonial girl. It's also springtime. I'm making YouTube videos. No, go away. That was my mother. So, she's sick. I was wearing capri pants and a t-shirt and a colonial dress that we just happened to have at my house and an apron. So it was very hot, and I had just had a needle poked into my thumb to dislodge this large splinter that had been lodged in there. And the nurses were so proud of me. They were like, you were so brave. What, is there anything you want? And I was like, I don't know. And at this point, I'm kind of not feeling great, let me tell you. So the one nurse was eating a fruit salad, and she was like, how about a piece of cantaloupe? Because that's a normal thing to offer a child who just got a splinter out. So I was like, sure, I'll have some cantaloupe. So she gives me a piece of cantaloupe, and as I'm eating it, they're like, is there anything else, Carly? And I go, well, I don't really feel that. And as I said, well, I passed out, I guess. And I woke up in one of the beds as they fussed and made sure I wasn't, I guess, choking on anything. Because, again, I was eating a piece of cantaloupe when I passed out. So they gave me a Capri Sun, and my mom came and picked me up. I did not get to have my Colonial Feast. All I remember is there were Snickerdoodles at that Colonial Feast. But I went home, so that was kind of nice. But it had to be on a fun day of school, of course. And the third time I fainted was my 11th grade year. So a lot of time had passed, and I was in choir. Beautiful choir. We called our, I'm not going to use my choir director's last name, but we called her Mama. Mama and then her last name, but I'm just going to call her Mama for this. So we were doing our choir rehearsal under the hot lamps, and choir was really intense for us. A lot of people would pass out. We were great. We were a great choir, actually. We won all our competitions pretty much. And it was because we practiced so much. So we were already probably going to be running late at this choir rehearsal. And I'm an alto. I sat, wow, my camera is like really kind of crooked. You guys are seeing me in a weird angle. Wow, it looks like my house is like crooked. So I was alto. I was on there was like the floor, the first riser, the second riser. I was like on the third, and there was like 2 risers behind me. So we're singing Wade in the Water, great song, and I start feeling sick. My vision's kind of going, like, I was feeling it, but I was like, can't leave the stage. Mama will kill me. Mama will kill me if I sit down. They always told you to sit down, but we never sat down because we were afraid to sit down because we had to keep singing. So I keep singing. I thought after the song, and this was also one of my favorite songs to sing, but I was like, after the song, I will sneak away and get some water. Didn't get to make it to after that song because I passed out. My vision went white, and I don't even remember falling over. But next thing you know, I'm laying like sideways on the riser. My glasses are thrown somewhere. I wasn't passed out long because at this point, like, Mom was coming over and stuff, and people were checking on me. Turns out my friends in the soprano section said as I was falling down, everyone took a step back. Just one good step back or forward, just away from me, sideways. So I fell. They get me off the stage. They give me a Snapple. And I sat down there. And we're still going, and now we're going over, but we're still singing. So my friend, she stood top riser at the end. I'm watching her. She was an alto like me. And all of a sudden I see her sit down, and I'm like, okay, well, she was smarter than me. And the thing is, with fainting, when one person faints, the likelihood of someone else to faint is higher because it starts to freak people out. So I see her sit down, and then the nurse that we had on staff kind of already was like ready for action, and she starts to roll like towards like fall off the riser, but the nurse catches her and it's all good, and she wakes up. So then we were both sitting in the audience watching, and we went an hour late even after we passed out. So there was that. And also yeah, no, it was just horrible. And then people started making polls of who would pass out at the actual choir concert. So that was fun. That was fun. So those were my 3 times I actually did pass out. My 4th time was I almost passed out. I had had only a smoothie that day for breakfast. It was not lunchtime yet at camp. I was standing in, we have a ropes area at the camp I work at, and I was talking to my coworker, and all of a sudden my vision didn't go blurry or white, but it kind of just all tilted, and I realized I was falling, and I caught myself, and my coworker was like, what happened? What's wrong? And I was like, I almost passed out. And I sat down, and then they force-fed me pretzels, even though I really don't like pretzels. But I needed a snack, but I don't like pretzels. So that was the 3 times I passed out and the 1 time I almost passed out. Fun times. If you've ever passed out, give me your stories. This might be the video I put up for my Throwback Thursday, actually. The other one might be my extra one. I don't know. I like this one better, kind of. So anyway, if you've passed out or almost passed out and you want to share your stories, send me a comment. I'll respond. Trust me, I will. If you have cool choir pass out stories, Oh, also, I didn't get killed by mama, so it's cool. But if you have cool choir stories, tell me. I was a choir girl. I have 8 followers, or 8 subscribers now. Thank you, subscribers. My one subscriber commented on my Broken Timeline video with their cool story. You should read that. It's interesting. It gave me chills because it was creepy. I have another Broken Timeline story that I will tell you guys at some point. It was freaky. But yeah, so like, comment, subscribe. Or just subscribe. Keep viewing. Thank you. Bye.